Greetings, my name is JC,
And I'm Ian.
and this is the Gamer's Gaiden. In this episode, we're going to be doing something similar to what we did last week, which was playing a game one of us had not really played before, and this week it's my turn.
Yeah, again, I messaged JC and said, hey, have you played any of these? And JC said, well, I haven't really played Monkey Island. And
I know it's one of your favorite games.
It is one of my favorite games.
You've been basically bugging me to play Monkey Island since we've started this show.
I have. I very much have.
50
This was my
plus episodes ago.
Yep, you had the opportunity when I played Life is Strange.
Yeah.
But you picked Silent Hill 2 instead because you were
I was
feeling spooky.
Yeah, I was in a survival horror kick at the time. So.
Monkey Island is kind of survival horror.
Sure, yeah.
Sure. But yeah, it was a huge part of my childhood. We had a PC, as I may have told this story before. We had a PC when I was a kid, but it was very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the games that I was able to play on it were like really simple point-and-click adventure games.
Right.
Hugo's House of Horrors, if anybody remembers the Halloween collection that I did, I played Hugo's House of Horrors for that and spoke about that a little bit, but that was one of the first games that I played, which was just a point-and-click adventure game.
Has not superly aged well.
No.
But fond memories for sure for Hugo's.
Absolutely. It was good for, a laugh. But Monkey Island was something that I had played at a cousin's house.
Right.
They had a much better PC.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey Island was on there, as well as it was the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah, see that game, I believe I had played the Nintendo version of the Last Crusade game.
Which I think was completely different because
Yeah,
the PC was a point-and-click adventure game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I remember eventually getting to the actual point-and-click adventure game of the Last Crusade and then just being amazed that it was completely different.
Yeah, and it was so much better. So having that, having the opportunity to play those, but only when I was there.
Right.
And they did not live close to me. So it was a very rare opportunity that I got to play Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Or the Last Crusade. So they kind of hold a special place for me.
Right.
Monkey Island was something that I picked up eventually, oddly enough, on the Sega CD.
Yeah.
I had that for the Sega CD. We found it at, I think, a Blockbuster for $5.
Whenever it was going, yeah.
Well, they used to sell old games in the store.
Right, that they weren't renting anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again.
Do you still have the Sega CD version of it, or has that kind of like been lost through time?
Lost through time.
Oh, that's...
Because I had to sell, well, again, I think I told the story, but I had to sell my Sega CD, my Sega CD, all of that stuff to pick up my PlayStation 1.
Right.
Ages ago. But that's why I've been slowly rebuilding my Sega CD collection over these last, couple decades.
Cool.
Because I'm old. But the important thing is Monkey Island will always be special. And when they finally decided to do the remastered versions of 1 and 2.
Right, that was just the version that we're going to play today. I have the remastered version on GOG.
Yes. Though conveniently, there is an option at any point to switch to the original graphics.
I saw that. That was
so I will most likely make you play a little bit with the original graphics.
Yeah, we'll play both. Yeah.
But there was just something. There was something about the writing, the setting, everything about Monkey Island that just kind of resonated with me. It was pirates. It was tropical, but it was funny. It never took itself too seriously.
Right.
While at the same time taking itself seriously.
Yeah.
It was just...
The old LucasArts games had they did that a lot where... I played Full Throttle probably the most out of that era, and which is by like the same company.
It's funny because I would consider Full Throttle probably one of the weaker of the LucasArts games.
Oh, okay.
That's, personal opinion, but that's...
But either way, it has the same effect in my opinion, where like it doesn't take itself 100% seriously, but still does at the same time. It's just kind of the vibe that the game gives.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what you think about Monkey Island.
It's a game that a lot of people who I have met have really had great fondness for the games. like such as yourself, and I know that some of the people I play board games with also like love Monkey Island and Monkey Island 2 specifically. I've heard Monkey Island 2 is the better one, but I've never played the first one, so we'll start with the first one.
Yeah, you miss out on some of the jokes in the second one because they do a lot of callbacks to the first.
Jokes without context and having to be explained every single one of them, or a lot of them anyway, isn't as fun. So, which is why I decided the first one versus the second.
Yes.
And after talking with you, and yeah, I had a friend in college, is the other person I can think of, who one of their favorite games is Monkey Island and Grim Fandango. So the two, and then that game 1 and 2, and then that game were like his top 3 games of all time. So I've heard really good things about the game, so I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, and it's sort of relevant too because Ron Gilbert's actually doing another Monkey Island game.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Do you have any idea on when that's supposed to come out?
Not a clue. We thought it was an April Fool's Day joke because they released the info on April Fool's Day.
Oh, okay.
Because he very specifically said he would never do a Monkey Island game again. But yeah, that's.
I guess the joke is that he actually is.
The joke is that he is. So
okay. Is it actually Monkey Island, or is it like a different game that's just like a spiritual successor of Monkey Island?
No, it's another Monkey Island game.
Oh, cool. Because I know they did a Telltale Monkey Island like.
Yep.
More recently.
Yes, there was I think 5 parts.
Yeah, it was an episodic 5-part game.
Yeah, which I downloaded but never played.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never played that game either. Played a lot of the Telltale games, but that is one of them that I never got around to playing. So
yeah.
Cool.
So okay, we're gonna go. JC's gonna play some Monkey Island. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I'm excited to see some of the jokes again. And we'll be back shortly.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, here we go. So I've got Monkey Island playing on the computer, and it should be placed in between us. All right. So I've only got a mouse over here on the couch, but apparently, according to the game manual, we should be okay. Ian has told me that I should be able to... oh, there's no exit on this. Oh. I should be able to play it without it. We've already come into a problem. 1 sec.
The only issue that we'll run into is you won't be able to like hot swap between modes.
Oh, okay.
Because that's F10, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, whatever it plays, it'll play, I suppose. Where the hell's my mouse? Okay, there we go. Well, it's got the classic graphics anyway, right?
This is the redone.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I am fairly sure.
Island of Melee. Okay, that's redone graphics. All right, cool. That's a really substantial change. Holy crap. I'm imagining the music is probably the same because it was redone in like a couple years after the original on CD-ROM, whenever that was like a thing in like 92, 93.
Yeah, because that would have been the version that was on the Sega CD.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And we did look it up, by the way. There is another one coming that should come out this year, apparently.
Apparently this year?
Yeah, and it was on April 1st, you were saying, because he said that if he ever declared another one that he was making, he would...
Yeah, like back in 2013, I guess. Mm-hmm. Ron Gilbert had wrote a blog post about, like, if he ever made another Monkey Island.
Right.
And that was one of the things he said he would release it. He would announce it on April 1st.
Okay.
So that people are like, is it really going to happen?
Right.
But apparently it's happening.
Yeah,
apparently it's happening.
Can we look at this? Oh.
Re-elect Governor Marley. When there's only one candidate, there's only one choice.
That's a great election. All right. I guess on a pirate isle. I have played some of the older games and like the original art style. I am enjoying, and I've seen a lot of screenshots over the years and maybe played this game for like 20 minutes. But I do like the redone art.
Yeah, the redone art's really nice. And I mean, the original game had no voiced audio.
Right.
I don't even think when they would have released the CD version it had voiced audio.
Ahoy there, stranger. New in town?
My name's Guybrush Threepwood. I'm new in town.
Guybrush Threepwood? That's the stupidest name I've ever heard.
Well, what's your name?
My name is Mancomb Seepgood. So, what brings you to Melee
That's so
Island?
much different. It says Melee Island TM. That's pretty fantastic. I don't know if being open to pirates
I wanna
is
be a
a smart
pirate.
idea, but let's see that. So can you do these in any order?
Yes.
Okay, because I've played the King's Quest games, or quite a few of them, and the neat thing about those, which they're point-and-click adventure games as well, if you're not aware, but the cool thing about those was that like there was kind of an order of things, but you could kind of do some things like in your own pace and order.
I think. Actually, now that I say that, I think the Governor's Mansion you have to do last.
Sure.
Hey!
Oh, maybe not.
Oh, maybe I can do it quick enough? Oh, he
Yep.
left. Okay.
There you go.
That's definitely reminiscent of a lot of old games where you had to either time things or do things a certain number of times. Like I forget which
Someone
game it
cooked the
was,
head cheese in this.
but there was one game where I played, and one of the reasons why I never really figured it out early was because of
Hey! Don't go into the kitchen!
I was trying to close the door for you.
So polite of you.
Yeah.
I would have just left it open.
I don't see anything special about it.
But yeah. Anyway, you had to talk to somebody to get a clue, and you had to talk to them like 4 times or something. And I just never kind of figured it out.
Deep beneath Monkey Island, the ghost pirate LeChuck ship lies anchored in a river of lava.
Captain LeChuck, sir.
There's nothing like the hot winds of hell blowing in your face.
No, sir. Nothing like it. Sir.
It's
That
days
sounds like one of
this
the
that make you
Animaniacs.
glad
I think
to
it
be
is.
Dead.
Oh, yes, sir. Glad to be dead.
That's totally
You
Echo.
are glad to be dead, right?
Oh, yes, sir. I feel so lucky that you happened to capture my ship and murdered me and everyone on board. Yes.
I definitely would rather use a keyboard than the mouse.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Davy Jones Lockers.
If there was like
the
a
last word in
radio
depth, fire,
wheel, but
and
that
fog
would
resistant
likely
storage
have to
devices.
change the original code too much, right? So, if I was sitting through the game with intent to like play through the whole story, I would have like my Chromebook beside me taking notes of what the characters are saying, so I could actually solve it like without a guide. But yeah, we're just trying to.
But you don't need a guide. You have me.
I guess if you remember how to beat everything, but it's like a 10-hour
bell for
game, so you
service.
probably won't beat it today. He looks so much different in the original. I actually kind of like this a little bit better because of the outfit.
Yeah.
It's too different. And I do like how this is... See, that's the thing with some of the remakes. Like, this was... I've played some of the... like, I think I played Zach McGracken, and it's the same game engine, and I've played with this interface before.
It's the Scum engine.
Yeah, Scum engine. And it's like they designed it for a very specific like purpose, right? Actually, I kind of want to see the other location with these graphics.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Just to make a comparison. I'm going to walk back to the I will say that like I've played some adventure games at the time. Like so like these games came out I was probably playing King's Quest 5, I think, instead of this game, basically. But the graphics for this are very nice. They're more cartoony, but that's the effect that it was kind of going for, right? And I don't see anything special about it. No, I just want you to move. Oh, wow, this looks really different. scum bar with a little happy face. It's really cool. Surprisingly, this looks almost identical. The dog, you can't really tell as much. You sort of have to look at it.
I can say for sure that I'm going to be going back and playing this now.
Oh, okay.
After, like...
I might sit through and play through the game because I do like point-and-click adventure games, and I've always had intentions to, like, want to play Monkey Island 1 and 2, but I haven't given its time.
Okay.
No, siree.
So,
Go get a helmet and then we can do the trick.
not to be your complete guide,
Sure.
head back to the scum bar.
Okay.
You're going to go
Can
in...
I use a bucket as a helmet?
there,
This game feels like I can use bucket
there's
as
a
helmet.
pot underneath the table
Okay.
in the kitchen.
Why, what's
Okay,
anything
okay.
special about it?
It... When you look at it, it actually says that somebody made head cheese in it.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's the clue. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get the bucket, then come back, and then, yeah.
And you'll get 478 pieces of 8
Yeah.
after getting shot out of a cannon. Very safely.
I'm surprised there's not, like, death animations that, they got rid of the happy face. You know what I mean? Like, you can die, like, 100 different ways in Dragon's Lair, for example.
Oh,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
yeah.
Because, like, it's a comedy game, and you can probably die in pretty comedic ways in this game.
Actually, it's going to sound weird, but there is really no risk. There's no way to die.
Here?
Yeah, it's just solving all the puzzles.
Yeah. Now with your fancy helmet,
Yeah.
you're going to go get shot out of a cannon at high speeds. Directly across the room, safely into hay.
You have a feeling it's not going to be safely, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that's safe.
We need the money. I think it would be neat to... I don't know if this is an option, and if it is, it'd be cool, and if it's not, it's a little unfortunate. Play the original graphics with the voice acting.
Ooh. Yeah. Because the voice acting is really nice, and the original graphics are fun.
Yeah. Okay. We went and got the helmet. So one thing that we kind of figured out, I'm sitting on the couch and playing this on my television since my computer's connected to it, and I don't have a wireless keyboard. So the one thing with only having the mouse is that I can't really hit the keyboard. So the keyboard brings up the menu in the new system, and it doesn't seem that I have a way to do that. So I'm just gonna put on the helmet and do this.
Ah, that will work as a helmet.
Now we can do the trick.
Step right over here, son.
Okay.
Now put on your helmet,
And get in the cannon.
and we'll take care of the rest.
Echo!
He went in the wrong way.
It works!
None shall pass. A red herring. Pass.
Did he just use a force?
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but that was also George Lucas.
Oh, was it? Oh, shoot. No, I did not notice that. Okay.
I mean, it was...
Go ahead.
It's a little less obvious, but yeah, that was
Yeah.
their whole intent was for that to be George Lucas.
I wonder if it looks better or more noticeable.
It doesn't.
It doesn't? Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's actually less noticeable.
Is it because it's like whenever he's really young? Because like I've got like late 90s George Lucas is usually like the normal, like that's kind of like what's on the Wikipedia page.
They gave, like, I think for the remake they made it look a little like him, but not.
Oh, okay. That's pretty funny. Okay.
Like I said, I mean, we were talking about it. You said you
Yeah.
might go through and actually play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
hope you
I'm-
do. I hope you find the time, and I hope you actually meet Stan because he's ridiculous. There are other ridiculous characters in the game. Like
Right.
That's one of my favorite parts of this game is that it's loaded with just ridiculous characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they take like just general tropes. Like whether it's pop culture or just like societal tropes, and they put them in here and they make it funny. You know, yes, like thematically it's pirates,
Yeah.
but
Pirates are liked by a lot of people. Even like in the early 90s, Pirates had a big resurgence. Like there was like Pirates Lego and like a bunch of like pirate movies like Hook and a bunch of other things, right? So it was very topical, and they kind of waned, and then Pirates came out, and then it was popular sort of again, and some TV series were released and stuff. So yeah, it comes in waves, just like
to me this is one of the best pirate video games.
yeah.
Like
I could see it, because like this is giving me a kind of like whimsical like Princess Bride attitude like kind of game.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's very tongue-in-cheek and funny, and yeah. Anyway, let's cut to the afterward and thoughts and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk a little bit more about impressions.
Okay, so we're back.
We're back. Yeah. So that was enjoyable. That was really fun. Because I was playing on the couch with the I have a wireless mouse for work, and I don't have a wireless keyboard, unfortunately. I was missing a part of the controls, but like that's because of how we had the setup, because we wanted to both be able to see it, so I put it up on my major screen. I would say the controls I was having problems with the left and right clicking, and it's probably because I haven't played a Scum game in a really, really long time. Because all the adventure click games, they kind of use like their own like setup and stuff like that. But I think the way that they changed it was actually really smart. I would have maybe made it a radial wheel. But because then you could have done it all with the mouse. But I get it. So that's really the only thing that I was having problems with was the controls. But then again, like that's not really a problem once like you play it for a good like 30 minutes. You kind of get used to it, right? So
Yeah, and once you have the keyboard kind of at hand, it'll be a little bit of a different experience. I hope you will continue. And
yeah, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima right now, and I'm in the final act, and I think I have like 80% of the collectibles, and I have the DLC to do.
Well, it sounds like you got 20% more collectibles to get.
Yeah.
As well as DLC.
So like I probably have like maybe 15, 20 hours. So like yeah, I should be able to play like mid-May. I should be able to get to the game, because it's only like 5 to 10 hours or something like that.
Yeah, it's not overly long. I mean, I'm going to go back and replay it now.
Yeah, maybe we can do a recap of like my thoughts on like the full game. But it was quite funny. Like I said, it kind of gives me a kind of a Princess Bride theme, where like there's a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
Like, and you probably have to play it a couple of times to sort of catch them all.
There are some that you'll miss.
Yeah.
And there's things that'll jump out to you because you'll understand references, knowing characters, and that it's very tongue in cheek the whole time.
Yeah, which is great. And that's the one thing that I've heard that's really good about this game, is that the dialogue of the game is fantastic. And I would say, like, I played the old graphics like very briefly, but just to kind of get a feel of it. I've played Scum Engine games before, like Zach McCracken I mentioned earlier is one of them that I have played. So like I have sort of a reference point to like that style of game. I think the best update to the game is the voice acting.
Oh, the voice acting's great.
It's a shame. I'll try and confirm this, but I think it would be really neat to play with the original graphics with the voice acting turned on.
Yeah.
Just because it is that fantastic. Maybe they changed some of the text a little bit, and that's the reason why.
I think that's part of it, is that some of the dialogue is a little bit different.
Yeah. But there is the editor for the Scum engine, so like they probably could have maybe made like a 1.5 version, but either way, the voice acting is fantastic. I really enjoyed that, and I think if there wasn't voice acting, a lot of people wouldn't pick up this game, which is really unfortunate, because like this game, King's Quest, Dragon Sphere, Zack McCracken, like those style of games, the point and click adventure ones, it is an older style of game that most people who are younger don't really experience. They tend to look at like the Telltale games, which is the evolution of this type of game.
Yes.
And I think there's still a place for the classic point and click adventure. Like one of my favorite game series is the Dreamfall series. And it's really interesting to play through those 3 games because you can really see the evolution of the point-and-click adventure genre through the 3 games because they're very updated between The Longest Journey, Dreamfall, and the Lost Chapters. Lost Chapters? Dreamfall chapters. Anyway, and you can see a very big step in like the visual and game design aspect of like how they tackled the interface and sort of the screen real estate and stuff like that with the visual update, but it felt like the same game. Like I revisited the tavern, the Scum Bar, and it felt the same. I could tell they were the same characters, so it was. I could tell the remake was done with a lot of love, which I really like. Whenever they do that type of stuff, it can be very frustrating with games or movies or shows or books whenever they sort of remake it, but they're kind of just using only a couple of the access points and then they remake everything. And it's like, well, why didn't you just make all that stuff that you made up into an original thing instead of just like slapping the like whatever IP on it, right?
Yeah.
And this was like they could make a spiritual successor of the Monkey Island games, kind of like Deponia is like a very tongue-in-cheek click and adventure game, which has a lot of laughs and stuff to it because the main character is pretty dumb, right? Like
which is a bit of the gag here. Like
exactly.
I mean, Guybrush isn't necessarily dumb.
No,
but he's very innocent.
That's a better way to put it. Yeah, he's kind of like dumb, silly, I guess, air quotes on that.
Yeah.
But and I don't know if this is true, but I think one of my favorite parts of the game, if this were true, maybe you can confirm if it's not, they put Monkey Island TM in the text of it. If there's a fourth wall breaking moment where they forget to put the TM and then the characters mention, hey, you didn't say it without the TM or something like that, that would make my day. That would make my day. But I'm
trying to remember now, and I can't remember.
Yeah,
I mean,
if it does do that, let me know in the comments down below because that would be, maybe they do in like one of the later games.
There are several like fourth wall breaking moments.
Okay, good. It feels like a game that should be breaking the fourth wall, just because of the way that like the dialogue is sort of like laid out and stuff like that. So yeah,
not spoiling anything. The ending to the second game is one of my favorite endings in video games.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I bet. I'm going on a whim here and I'm guessing here because from everyone that I've heard from fans of the Monkey Island series, sure, they love the first one, but the game they actually like is Monkey Island 2. And it's a little unfortunate because it feels it's like one of those scenarios where you kind of have to have the experience of Monkey Island 1 in order to experience Monkey Island 2. It's kind of akin to Mass Effect in a way, or Dragon Age. The first and second games in those series, Mass Effect more so, I guess, like the gameplay, the game is very similar in a lot of respects, but like a lot of people like 2 more than 1, but like 1 is more of like this original type of RPG type game. And I bet you like there's a lot of feeling that is kind of similar to that with Monkey Island 2, where it's just like, I don't know, like why is 2 better? Is it the story? Is it the storytelling, or is it the jokes, or is it just
honestly,
the gameplay?
I think what it is you have a group of people who had a concept, an idea, and they birthed it, and it was good.
Right.
But they were at that point where they, had more ideas behind. They'd already worked with these characters once.
Right.
And, saw where they could take those characters and what made sense, and some things that maybe didn't.
Yeah.
And it's just a more refined
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that can happen a lot with games, especially in that era too, where you can really see like this was a test and it was popular. Like Mega Man is a good example of that too, where the first one was literally just a test, and then the second one, like they put their heart and soul into it, and it was a lot better experience because they had the time and the budget, since the first one was successful, to put in the extra effort of making 8 robots instead of like 6, and all like stuff like that, right? And some of the extra features that they wanted to put in there. But yeah, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But
I mean, one of the alarms on my phone is the Mega Man 2 theme.
Yeah,
because A, it's jarring, and but B, it slaps. Still, like, what, like 30 some odd years later, it's still really good. And that's that. You find that with certain series, you know, and something like this, where the gameplay isn't necessarily what you're playing it for. You're playing it for the story.
Yeah, and
you're very much playing it for the story.
I think a lot of the experience, at least for me, for these types of games, and from a lot of point-and-click adventure fans, it's like the experience of figuring out all the little solutions. Like, you helped me with a couple of them.
Yep.
But it wasn't too spoilery, so it's like, it's fine. But it's like, well, what the hell do I do with this pot, right? And it's like, oh, it's a helmet, right?
The best example is the rubber chicken with the pulley in the middle.
Right, yeah.
Because he's like, what would you ever use a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle for?
Yeah, they specifically mention it's like, okay, you need this item, you're going to use it later.
Yeah, and I remember playing through as a kid, having that in my inventory the entire time, and I was stuck at a point, and I'm just like, nothing that I'm trying makes sense.
Right.
None of the things that are in my head are making sense. And I'm like, whatever, fine. And I click the rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle, and that's the solution. And I'm like, huh? What? How is this? All right. But then, like, as an adult looking back, I'm like, yeah, of course, that
makes more sense.
Makes perfect sense for that situation, but it's still ridiculous.
Yeah. I hope the game, like, I'll make a conscious effort to actually set aside a time to play through it, and maybe we can do a recap of the episode. But I just really hope, the one thing that I would say before I play the game more so in full which would really deter the experience, is if the puzzles are more time piece oriented with their jokes. Because sometimes the jokes are very period piece.
That's true.
If the puzzles, because you don't, if I can't solve a puzzle because I don't understand or remember a meme or like an instance from that period piece, that would kind of ruin the experience, because like I don't understand what they're referring to.
As far as I remember, it's not.
Okay, good.
It isn't very. It feels timeless.
Yeah, because I remember like the original King's Quest. One of the puzzles, the solution of it was literally having read like a bunch of like books basically, and it's like really only like certain caliber of people have read those books, so it's like normies haven't read these books. How are you supposed to know?
It was like one of the solutions to a problem in Hugo's House of Horrors. Like, one of the final sections, you have to have read Lord of the Rings,
right,
to understand both the reference and know the answer. And as like a little kid, I hadn't read Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, which kind of
I didn't know what Lord of the Rings was, and my parents
everybody
and I tried
should have
everything.
Like, maybe read, in my opinion, read or seen at least the movies. But yeah, I totally get what you mean. And
there was no movies. I don't even think Peter Jackson had made.
There was the cartoon, the animated feature with the rotoscoping. True. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, great movie. But I like the animation style. Anyway, that's a totally different topic.
That is a totally different topic.
But,
thank you so much for playing Monkey Island. Yeah. I look forward to getting back together after we both kind of replayed 1 and maybe 2, and being able to have a discussion of like what your thoughts were now that you've completed it.
Yeah,
you know, it might not be super long, but hey, we'll be able to sit down and just have a discussion about like what you thought, and is it am I right? Is it timeless? You know, do the jokes stand?
Yeah.
Or am I laughing because it's an important part of my childhood, and yeah, it's always going to be funny to me.
Right. Yeah. And as a first impressions, I did enjoy myself. It was fun. I can see definitely a lot of potential with the game. So yeah, we'll loop back and
almost like it's good enough that they made a second one.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, So that's it for this episode, and in a future episode, definitely gonna play it after I'm finished Ghosts, and we'll have a recap episode of final thoughts, sort of on this game, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
And don't forget, X marks the spot.